Said this in the first hour, but we got this tweet. My pet peeve is the hatred for Team USA from the old heads who root against our current team so they can point and go, see, Jordan and the Dream Team would have blown out Serbia by 30. No, they wouldn't.
No, they would not.
Can you have some perspective here? Would they have won? Maybe, probably.
Probably would have won,
but
yes.
can we have a little more perspective than, hey, this ain't Angola in 1992?
Yeah. Slightly different.
My God.
Slightly different.
You want to see Patrick Ewing try to guard
Jokic would have eaten him alive. Dream ate him alive. You don't think Jokic would have been eating him alive? It's just,
he might be the best player in the NBA. He might be the best player in the world.
There's no might. He is. He definitely is. There's a lot of angles to this. I thought Steve Kerr was atrocious.
I agree with you.
Your substitution patterns were awful. Stop. You know that scene in Mean Girls, stop making fetch a thing? Like, that's kind of what I was thinking with Kerr in his second unit. We were down 6. He takes out all our key players, puts in all the scrubs. They did nothing all game. Oh, balloons back to 15.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, my God, dude. Didn't try Tatum once.
No.
Look, Derek White,
No.
I like Derek White. I think he's a good player. He's been largely good for them. He was, for me, the worst.
Yes.
He went under every screen. He had no idea what he was doing offensively. Like, that's the point where I'm like, okay, Tatum, you're 6'9". Get your ass in there and try to be something defensively. Be a playmaker. Not even a try.
I didn't even put him in.
I thought Kerr was really bad yesterday.
I do find it a little bit comical that Tatum isn't playing and he's butthurt and he doesn't want to play in 28 now and he's all frustrated.
He didn't say that.
I know.
Bill Simmons is just throwing stuff against a wall.
I do find it funny because I think Tatum's one of the more overrated players in the NBA. So there is a slight chuckle internally.
So does Steve Kerr.
So does Steve Kerr. But to your point about Derek White, I remember that being the takeaway when they announced he was the replacement for Kawhi of like, Derek White is where we're going. And now the guy is playing minutes in a semifinal game, and he's atrocious when he's on the floor. He played 7 minutes yesterday, and he was a sieve out there. There were some funny tweets that did exist. One of them was basically like a light bulb moment of like Steve Kerr realizing I could play my 5 best players at the same time.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow, you can do that during an Olympic game. And then also one that made me chuckle was somebody sending out a thing saying, I'm convinced the only reason they won that game was because Team USA stopped listening to Steve Kerr and started listening to Melo on the baseline yelling at them what to do. And Coach Melo was the guy that got him over the hump in the second half of that game.
So it's a nice reminder, I think, of people our age, maybe a little younger, and then of Swag's age that have gotten to watch this era of Bron, Steph, KD, and it was noted like, not in the playoffs, and you know how much we kind of miss that. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't like those guys, you get mad about them being comped to all-time greats, whatever the points are. It's crazy to say this, of just without them, we're not close, and you're reminded
at this point in their career that shouldn't be the case.
From a talent standpoint and depth, we have the most for sure. Did you watch Ant Edwards?
Didn't do much.
That guy didn't play in the NCAA tournament. And yesterday, he got a glimpse of what that life is like. And it's like, oh, my God, this is a one and done.
Yep.
There is no tomorrow if you lose. You just see guys tighten up. And I thought you said it really well. Serbia played with nothing to lose. They played with an air of confidence. They'd gotten their asses handed to them twice by America. And they went out there and they said, enough of this. And they made adjustments. Their screen games were awesome yesterday. They got good looks, and they drained all of their shots. And you saw really good NBA players, all NBA guys, tighten up, look nervous, play that way. And Bron in the fourth quarter, KD at the end of the game, and Steph in the first quarter and the end of the game. You saw those 3 players. And let's give Joel Embiid his proper credit here.
Joel Embiid had a good game yesterday.
Embiid was a factor in the game.
Yes, he was.
At the start of that second half, they were down double. He hit back-to-back shots.
Yep.
I did find it funny. He had a big moment. Jokic had the offensive foul call. He went nuts.
Oh, he set a wipeout screen for Curry's 3 to go ahead.
He did. I did find it funny, though. He got a little excited, and he had the turnover with like 3 minutes to go. They didn't go to him the rest of the game. In fact, KD waved him away on the screen.
Get out.
Well, there were a couple of times he didn't know. He did set, and somebody called that play for Curry because he knew But a lot of times when they were
But he went the wrong way. I think he got in the way.
He was having a hard time figuring out where to go, who wanted
Yeah.
a ball screen, who didn't want a ball screen when it was like KD and LeBron out there, and he was having a hard time to figure out where to go.
Absolutely, but he had a huge game for himself, and he's had a rough Olympics too. He had a DMP, and so it's just watching them be carried. And man, that tweet is right. I watched that game. Kerr just seemed a little clueless. I like Spo to be the head coach going forward in 28. Melo literally told them, was screaming at them what to do on the Kevin Durant shot. Bron was dribbling. He was pointing for Steph to go screen for KD, telling Bron, give KD the ball, and then he got out of there and just told him, go get it, and he did.
It was hilarious to see. He should be the coach. And it's just a reminder sometimes of Steve Kerr is a good NBA coach. He has been for a long time. But also your success and your standing in that world is a byproduct of the randomness of the job that you get. And if him getting hired to be the head coach of the Golden State Warriors and then getting Kevin Durant to join them in free agency, I know they won a title before and they won a title after Kevin Durant. But it is led by the players that he's been able to coach. And if you take that away in years they've lost that, they've been one of the worst teams in the NBA, and they were bounced again early this year and couldn't go on a deep run. I think your point about those three guys, the older guys, there's an appreciation there for me with this Olympics. I haven't watched a ton of it. Yesterday, it's like semifinals. I'm going to watch this game. I don't have much going on. There's an appreciation of this era of Team USA basketball, and so much of this turns into controversy, and this era versus that era, and 92 was better, this year was better, this team was better. I hate getting wrapped into that kind of stuff. I don't know what team was better. I don't know who was better.
They'll never play.
They'll never play. It's a stupid argument. It's a dumb thing to waste your time on. I'm just appreciating what's in front of me. And these guys have been incredible Team USA players. Kevin Durant's the all-time leading scorer, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
he's
he's a rebounder. Isn't he the rebounder too?
And LeBron is leading this team at the age of 40, which I have brought up multiple times in this Olympics. It blows my mind
Probably
every
the
time
MVP
I
of
say
the
it.
tournament.
MVP of the tournament. Yeah. Steph has been one of the faces of the league now, and he went off and saved them in a semifinal game yesterday. It's one of the legendary performances
Booker's
from him.
had his moments.
Yeah.
Booker's had his moments.
Huge three yesterday after that foul with the three they hit.
The one guy I was expecting more from, and I'm curious, is Ant.
It's like the West Finals. It looks like it's a little bit of a big stage for him, and he's had some moments, but he had a rough game yesterday. They couldn't play him at the end of that thing.
What I was going to say was I think this is like the end of an era for this group of basketball players.
Definitely
now, I don't know what the future holds for Steph, for KD, and LeBron, and maybe one of them will win another title, but we went through it in the postseason this year. This was the first time in like 20 years that you didn't have one of them in the second round of the playoffs. And you saw, to a certain extent, some of the ratings dip a little bit. I think because of that, they have been the three faces of the sport, rightfully or wrongfully, for the last 15 to 20 years. LeBron deserves it. Steph's won titles, and KD for all he's accomplished in joining the Warriors. So you have this trio of older guys who are now older than anybody ever was on the 92 team. And probably LeBron playing in his last Olympics. He's going to be 44.
No, it definitely is.
So he's done.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant I don't know where he's going to be.
It's it for all three of them.
It very well could be. And so there's just an appreciation of what they've done, the players that they've been, and having a chance to go win one more gold when this era is going to be gone before we know it. And then it will be the next cycle of young guys that steps up.
When they had some barking moments with Bogey in the second half, and it kind of they had that little like mini, scuffle go on or whatever it was going into the timeout. The thing about LeBron is there is such a trust. Like, this dude he's the most debated athlete of our lifetime. It's not even close. And I watch this dude and I'm like, they need something bad. And he comes out and he gives it to
Here's
you.
a play.
And he just play after play. He had a triple-double yesterday, and you can make an argument for any 3 or 4 players for MVP because they were all so huge at different moments, but he guarded Jokic at the end.
He did.
He had the breakaway layup to give him the lead. I actually feel bad for people that have just spent their whole sports lives in this dude's career crapping on him because dare somebody suggest he's as good at basketball as Michael Jeffrey Jordan. A lot of you are going to look back, and maybe you won't have any regret. A lot of you are, though, and you just spent your whole sports life rooting against this dude because, God forbid, ESPN watch his high school game.
Yes.
And I thank God for him yesterday. They lose that game
They do.
without LeBron James. Kevin Durant, I thought, had the best perspective. He was eating dinner with his mom, at the hotel restaurant, and he was asked about just this moment. They have the gold medal game on Saturday, Kobe Bryant
What
Day.
time Saturday?
Noon.
Okay.
It'll be noon our time, so get to the TV by 11:45. He was asked about that moment of coming back and beating Serbia.
Come on, man. How can you not celebrate a win like that? Look at all our families in here. Look at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what this about. You know what I mean? We all come together as one on the other side of the world like this. Starting USA chants, our section starting USA. Man, it's special tonight, man. So we got to celebrate. I'm not going to act like it's not. You know what I mean? I know we want to win the gold, but we got to celebrate the small moments, too.
Where a game like this kind of brings you even closer, right?
Guarantee you, everybody here, they'll never forget about this night. Everybody here gonna remember this night for the rest of their lives. That's how special this is. And because we came back and we showed how together we were in that fourth quarter. It was incredible.
I can't wait to see what they do Saturday. I don't think they're going to have the same start, and France is a tough team. I didn't think they'd beat Germany yesterday. But damn, I'd love to watch them just blow the French team out in France for the gold.
The last two things I got on this. One, on your LeBron points, I agree, and I find it incredibly ironic that this is happening when he is 40 years old. He's supposed to be done. This isn't mathematically supposed to happen. It is simultaneously happening at the same time as somebody who built his entire career off calling him a phony and not Michael Jordan has been booted off television because nobody watches or cares what he has to say anymore. And he has largely built this anti-LeBron culture for some in the basketball and sports world for the last 20 years, and he made a career out of it, and now he's on his ass out of a job because nobody cares about what his idiot ass has to say. So I'm finding that incredibly ironic. The other thing was Joel Embiid deserves his spot on Team USA after his antics after the game.
So good.
Him egging on the French
He's
crowd
them
and
the
doing the suck it to him as he's walking off the floor, getting ready to play him in a gold medal game. Like he can have a spot on the team, man. I'm all for that.
I hope they win by 30 points. Oh, I hope they do it. I'm just glad they came back and didn't lose to Serbia. So that was a lot of fun yesterday watching that Team USA game. I was on my couch just screaming. I was angry. I hated every player on Serbia's roster, and I went nuts when they had to come back and they won.